I thought I would talk about E3, seeing as it's the week of E3 and I'm missing out having all FOMO. I thought I would talk about it a little bit. And it seems Harley's also having a bit of the FOMO. Hey, are you missing out on the stream? Okay, you're gonna say hi to everyone. Hello. Say hello. Ooh, don't put mommy's headset on the chocolate, please. So, for those who don't know me, I'm Zoe, and this is Harley, and we are Born Geek, and I haven't been to E3 since I was pregnant with her. So the last time I was at E3, I was actually already a couple months pregnant, and so I've actually had to miss out the last couple years because it's hard to do E3 with us. What are you saying? I love my angel. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about it because obviously now the last 2 years I've covered E3 from home, which is a bit different. And I thought I'd just share a bit of the insight about like what it's like to actually be at E3 versus what it's like to watch the event on live stream. Hey Lilma! So if you're watching and if you're keen on me and Harley and want to share our antics with people, or if you are interested in E3 and all the events that happen there and the difference between seeing E3 in person versus on the live stream, then please be sure to press that like thingy and comment and share and all of that, just so that everybody who should be watching gets to watch. So, all of those formalities out of the way, yes, say hello, baby. All of that out of the way, I thought I would just talk a little bit about what it's like to actually be at E3. So, it's something like Gaming Mecca. Now, for those who don't know, E3 is the Electronic Entertainment Expo, hence E3, 3Es. Really should be 3E, I think, instead of E3. Anyway, and it's basically the biggest gaming event of the calendar. So, every year, all the major publishers convene in LA, they all converge on the city, and they all have press conferences, and they all have these huge stands at the expo, and they share what they're going to be showing off for the coming year. So it's really cool, just to get a sense of what's coming, but it's really different watching it on live stream versus being in person. So first of all, for those in South Africa, we are in winter, hence all the hot chocolate that I seem to drink on live stream every time. Whereas there it is summer, and so it's like night and day, summer and winter, on any other different season, day, time, whatever you might want to call it. And so it's completely different in terms of like here, I watch the live streams at my hot chocolate, I'm in my slippers and my gown, and it's very chilled, and I wanted to stay warm and like cuddle up for the live stream. Whereas there, it is swelteringly hot. Like literally, when I've gone with the guys and stuff, I've been even before I was a mom, I was the mom, and I would pack all the supplies that people might need, and I was giving out baby powder like nobody's business because everybody was chafing. Everybody was just sweaty and gross, and yeah. So there's that. Which I don't miss at all. I also really don't miss having incredibly sore feet. So throughout the expo time, you're running around and going from place to place for the different showcases, but also just mainly on your feet all day, every day. I mean, I didn't have my amazing Fitbit when I went the last time, but I did track on my phone and other devices, and I think because I had the 3DS, which was also tracking stuff for me, I think I would usually hit about 14 to 16,000 steps a day, which is a lot of steps. It's a lot of walking, and your feet get very sore by the end of E3. Okay, so that's kind of the physicality of it, but there's so much more to it. So, typically, press conference day used to be all on one day. Now they've spread it out over a few different days. But it used to be all on one day. We used to call it the gauntlet because you would basically start in the morning, hopefully have breakfast if you were early enough, and go from Xbox to EA to Ubisoft to Sony in this mad dash of like announcements and hype and excitement, but also running, obviously, like I said, your feet get to the store. and just trying to get into all these things, and it was always a bit odd. Like Microsoft would start the conferences off and would usually do quite a cool job, but like everyone would be like, well, I don't know, let's see what Sony does. And then EA was always like terrible. I mean, I love EA as a publisher and I love their games, but their press conferences were always really like a mixed bag, because obviously their fans are mixed bag. So it'd be like, yay, Madden, and no one would care. Well, the people who cared would care, but like other people wouldn't. And then they'd be like, Mass Effect, and like, yeah, Mass Effect, and then Minions mobile game, and you're like, why are you telling me about this? It just didn't really make sense. And here, when you're at home, that's when you just go pee. Like, that's when you just kind of tune out on the stream and do something else. And obviously when you're in the press conference, that's also when I would go pee. But it's just a bit different when you're in person and like the press conferences are a letdown. It feels like much more of a letdown. Whereas when you're on stream, you just kind of like tune it out a bit. We're used to kind of like the background videos or whatever. And you just ignore it for a while and then pick it back up when something interesting happens. Whereas when you're there, it's just really disappointing and you're already tired and jet lagged, and it's kind of like you just want to fall asleep while they talk about EA Sports stuff, at least I do. Anyway, the Ubisoft has always been my favorite. Always, always, always. And I'm really, really sad that I wasn't there this year, because the vibe in that Orpheum Theater is always phenomenal. It's just full of people. Everybody is really curious to see what Ubisoft has to offer. They have their developers around, they have the PR people. And it just ends up feeling like you're part of something. It's hard to explain. I think you feel included in a way when you're at the press conferences, specifically Ubisoft. Like, they just really make everybody feel like they're part of the experience. And you know, they showcase tweets, and like if you're in person, they're often showing like pans of the rest of the room so you can see the other people who are there. You can see everybody's excitement. Whereas obviously on the live stream, they're just showing the announcements and what you're supposed to see. So that's a bit different in person as well. And then Sony always feeds everybody, and that's why Sony is a favorite press conference. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. At the end of the day, after being really, really busy, I'm really, really stressed, Sony gives you free food and free booze. So of course, that press conference when you're in person is almost fun. Watching it this year on the live stream, I was less impressed. Okay, granted, I wasn't up. That was the I didn't watch it live. I watched it after the fact, and I was not impressed. So it's just a thing of like, when you're actually in those halls, when you're surrounded by thousands of people, like I'm not even talking hundreds, thousands of other people who are so excited to hear these announcements, who are so glued to what's happening on stage, who are so interactive, who are cheering and crying and standing ovations and all of that. You ride the wave. Like, I must say, it really builds the hype for when you're there in a way that it doesn't when you watch on the live stream. On the live stream, you hear the applause in the background, you see the presenters, you watch the trailer, and then you kind of just move on. Like, it doesn't resonate in the same way. Whereas when you're in person and you're able to watch these trailers and these announcements, these major things, and you see the person next to you literally become overcome with shock and awe. And it's contagious. It's absolutely like hive mentality. Yes, are you sucking on the pinata? I'm not sure if that's a good idea. But you are a bit sick, so I'm not gonna stop you, I suppose. You just become, it's a contagion of excitement and hype. And I think that's part of why people who haven't been to E3 don't understand why even journalists like fall for the hype. Because when you watch it on live stream, you really don't fall for the hype. Like, watching it on live stream, the Xbox conference was fine, Sony was fine, like Ubisoft made me happy because you know, Ubisoft made me happy because they announced a game that I've been waiting for about 15 years. So that was phenomenal. Like, that absolutely got me glued to my screen during the Ubisoft press conference, and I loved that. But also just in general, I really like what Ubisoft does. So their streams are generally a bit more heartfelt. It's kind of like Nintendo as well. Like, it just feels like less of a sales pitch and more of a, hey, we really love games and this is what we've been working on. It feels a bit more like a passion project. Whereas some of the other publishers feel like, and coming this fall, you can buy this, 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 and this. Please buy. Obviously, Ubisoft also wants you to buy their games. No, we're not saying buy. I'm saying buy like purchase highly, not buy like goodbye. So it just doesn't feel like as much of a hard sell from Ubisoft as compared to the other guys. And I think it also just feels, at least in terms of the press conferences, those events always feel more hollow when you're at home watching on live stream as compared to when you're in person. But obviously the real difference comes in right now. So now, for me, E3 is over. I've watched the press conferences, and that's it. I'm done now. There's nothing else for me to really do, except for maybe keep an eye out on what other people are doing and help our guys on the ground with their previews and editing and getting things uploaded and stuff. Whereas when you're in person, it's so different because basically you're on the show floor from 9 in the morning, I think, 9 in the morning, until 5 at night, every day. And those days are booked back to back. I mean, I usually have appointments all day, every day. And then after having a day full of appointments, you go home to your hotel and you have to write about everything that you've seen all day and somehow eat and maybe go to after parties, which are usually the best events anyway. Like, there was a Xbox VIP party that used to be my favorite event of all times because I would hang out with Mr. AC Bongos and a bunch of the other PR team, but also just in general, like really cool people, international press. They would give us food, they would give us drink, and they would let us play all the games on the Xbox stand without waiting in the lines. So that was generally my favorite event in person of E3. She's so tired. She was sleeping, I promise. She was sleeping before I went live. And she was fast asleep. And then I went to make my hot chocolate and got live, and she decided it was time to wake up. So there's that. But yeah, so when you're actually there, this is the time when all the work is happening. There are tons of after-hour events, which are also when you usually get like the best opportunities. So you get to meet really cool people, or go out to dinner with other journalists who are in town and compare notes, and just generally you want to obviously not be a workaholic hobbit who is at the expo or in the hotel, but you also have a ton of work to do. So I used to generally go to sleep around midnight, 2, 3, 4 in the morning during Q3, and then get up at 7, 8 to be back on the expo show floor by 9 again the next day. It's exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting. And so that's something that I don't miss. Like, obviously at home, I'm not getting those hands-on experiences with the games. I'm not getting to play everything. I'm not getting to mingle and chat to the cool people there and just soak up the vibe. But I also don't have feet that hurt, and I am getting more sleep than I would if I were there, which is quite something considering I have a child who still doesn't sleep through the night. So I think it's one of those things where I definitely feel like, I was very sad at the start of this week that I was missing people, and I was really jealous of everyone that was there, and I was feeling like, I wanted to be in those showrooms. And I'm really sad that I wasn't in the Orphan when Ubisoft announced Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like, I've been waiting for that game for so long. I was really sad that I wasn't there. But by the same token, I'm really glad that I'm here. I'm really glad I'm hanging out with Harley and covering everything from home, and I still got to see the announcement. I still got to share in the excitement. It's not as much as if I were in person, but not the end of the world. I do think I'll be back at E3. I hope so. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's so validating to be surrounded by so many people who are sharing in your excitement, or who are feeling an excitement, even if you're not hyped up. When you first watch the press conferences, Harley, even if you're not hyped up watching the press conferences initially, and being around other people who are, like I said, it's contagious. It gets you more excited. And that's a feeling you don't get at home. So it's something I'd like to experience again. It's just so validating. To look around a press conference, to look around a packed theater, like packed theater and convention center, and realize that all those people are passionate about video games. All those people are excited for those announcements. All those people are like, losing their minds over the next, major release of the game, or the next announcement, or the next trailer, or whatever. And it's video games. It's fun. Like, it's really, really fun. It's thousands of people gathered to play video games and look at toys and play. And I think it's something that we don't celebrate enough, and people might call it the hype train, and people might say, like, oh, it's all lies, and the studios don't deliver on what they promise at E3, and maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I think it's a really special time of year, and a really special event, and as much as I've enjoyed this week, and the announcements, and covering it from home, and not having to do basically a month's worth of work in 1 week, and I'm still kind of sad that I've missed it, and I will definitely want to go again next year, or the year after, on Harley, and where we are, and I don't know, it's funny, like, back the first time I went to E3, Jeff, my editor, he said to me that E3 is basically flying halfway around the world to watch trailers. And in large part it is. Like, the early days is just that. Like, you rush off to these press conferences, you sit in these, crowded stadiums to hear them announce something and show a trailer. And it's great, it's really exciting, and really great, but it's also just watching a trailer. It's really only now, it's only in this week where the hands-on times happen and all of that then E3 becomes something truly special when you're there. Because then you get to actually play the things that have been announced for the first time ever. Like, not everybody gets to play, and so when you do get to play, you're like one of 200, 500, maybe 1,000 people in the whole world who've gotten to play a game for anyone else. And it's really cool and really exclusive, and it's just so nice to form your opinion before everybody else has. And obviously it's not representative of the final game, and there's all the drama that goes along with it, and controversies and all of that, but it's still, it's something special, and it's something I definitely am missing this year. Are you trying to blow on my hot chocolate? Are you blowing on my hot chocolate? I will let off, please. And it is something that I'm missing this year, and I'm sad about it. I don't think this is my last chance. At least I hope not. I hope one day I'll be back with you and Gamescom, and go to San Diego Comic-Con, and all the expos ever. And just need really, really good shoes, because those things are killer on the feet. Hey, honey. We're gonna say bye to the live stream now. Can you say bye? Bye. Say bye-bye. Say thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please be sure to do the like, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. And I will see you on Sunday for our next live stream. Goodbye.